Howdy, everybody. Back with another live stream. It is December 15th. Only 9 more shopping days left before Christmas. Just doing a quick show today. It is Thursday, so kind of mixing up my days a little bit. See how their reception is and how many people join in and come into the chat here. Today, I am going to stick to doing just 30 minutes of live show. Last time I planned on doing a 30-minute show, and I actually went for closer to an hour. But today we're going to stick to the 30 minutes because I do have something that I do need to get done later on. So, hey, Thompson RC, good to see you, my friend. I did want to give a shout out to a couple of channels. Yes, RC Car Mania. He is, he's had his channel for a couple of years. He's got like 60 subscribers. He recently hit me up in a comment and a message about helping to grow his channel and whatnot. So I told him, hey, I'll give you a shout out the next time I do a live. So a shout out to RC Car Mania. Robert, Arctic RC, good to see you. My brother, Thompson RC, good to see you. My brother, glad you guys are here. Been just trying to figure out what to do, what days to do lives on. So I'm just kind of popping in randomly every once in a while, especially it's Christmas time, all the holiday stuff. So I figured these random live streams were perfect to jump in and just say hello to everybody. Barbecue, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. We're almost through the week here. It has been a very busy couple of weeks work wise. Yes, Robert. Happy holidays to you. Yeah, work's been super busy. We're trying to get all this stuff done. Oh man, I don't know if that's James or Billy, but hello, James and Billy. It's good to see you guys as well. Yeah, we're trying to get all this end of the year stuff done at work. So there's just a ton of scrambling going on there. So I tried to do a live a week ago or so, and I ended up cutting it off and getting rid of it altogether. Because for whatever reason my camera went and sound went wonky on it, and when I went back and watched it, I didn't even realize like 2 minutes of the very beginning had normal camera and audio, and then after that there was like a 30-second delay from the audio to the camera, and then the camera was getting all pixelated and whatnot, so there was obviously a problem there. And I sat there and talked for like 45 minutes, not realizing what was going on. And so anyhow, here we are, man. It's good to see everybody joining in. Been a while. Definitely been a while since I've seen Jay and Billy. Unfortunately, the Wednesday live streams that you guys do, James, and every week I have an engineering meeting, and it's only supposed to run for 45 minutes, and almost every week they run like an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and it starts about 15 minutes into your guys' live stream. But the good news is 2023, we are moving that. So I'm going to try and be able to pop into you guys' Wednesday show here soon, because yeah, I for those of you that don't know, I I do work from home now full time. I'm a complete remote employee for the Ream Manufacturing Company. So this is my home office that I get to enjoy every day. Yeah, James, definitely nice to see you too, man. Um, since I decided to take some time away from, well, I guess not time away, to step away from Operation 11 Charlie. I haven't been around much as far as doing videos, and I just recently started doing live streams, primarily because my RC time has been greatly squashed in the last 5 or 6 months. So I don't get as much time to spend with my RCs. My weekends are sadly getting eaten up with a bunch of other stuff right now, and that was primarily the time I got to play with all my toys. But hopefully 2023 things are going to start shaking out and things are going to start evening out a little bit so that I'll have more time to enjoy things, be able to get out, do some more videos. I literally, like 4 months ago, I literally bought a new camera and I've used it to film like 2 videos, and that's it. Then months and months have gone by, and I've barely used this thing for RC videos at all. I've taken a bunch of home movies with it, and junk like that, a bunch of videos around the property. Um, but yeah, literally hardly using it, and bought it for the purpose of filming, for my channel. Um, but yeah, other than that, um, just to catch up on a few RC related things since the last stream I did, which I think was 2 or 3 weeks ago, was um, that freaking FMS Michigan Jeep. That thing looks amazing. And at the price point of like $329 for on RTR, that thing scale wise looks pretty awesome. Um, I mean, it's hard to beat the price. I mean, it's FMS. It's not one of the bigger brands, but for the price, it's pretty awesome. And also, I've been looking at all these holiday sales that are coming up, and Horizon is, man, they're going freaking crazy over there with their holiday sales. I saw RC Guy Garage posted like the Arma Fire Team. I believe that thing was like $599, and I think they've dropped it all the way down to like $399 now, which is, I mean, that's a pretty smoking deal for a 6S, uh, pretty decent rig. I had my opportunity to play around with one, and it's a fun rig to cruise around with. Definitely a cool basher. Would I pay close to $700 for it? Probably not. But would I pay $399 for it on sale? Absolutely. That's a freaking bargain. Yeah, I was this close, Robert, to getting a 360 camera. Had it not been that I was having issues with my GoPro, um, I was going to get the 360 camera to have as well as my GoPro, but I started having some big overheating problems with my GoPro, and I didn't have a choice. In which, the reason it's the reason why I actually went with the DJI as opposed to the GoPro was um, I got so frustrated with my GoPro, and frustrated with like their customer support and technical support people that basically can't explain anything about their cameras to anybody, because they're constantly telling me this proprietary blah, blah. Oh, oh, James. Now the Traxxas XRT, yeah, that thing's pretty freaking awesome. Nitro Freak, good to see you, man. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why Horizon doesn't. I mean, they're an international company, obviously. I don't know why they don't have deals all over. Separate deals for different countries. That I don't. I don't get that. It's kind of somebody at Horizon probably has put together some spreadsheets and figured out crap, and yeah, who knows? Who knows why Horizon does anything? Some of the things they've done in the last year or so, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I'm not the CEO, so getting my Call of Duty points, getting my Call of Duty codes. Uh, hey Russell, how you doing, brother? Good to see you too. Yeah, I got to get my codes for Modern Warfare 2, which I've been enjoying the crap out of that game. Um, the Warzone 2.0, it's almost as good as the original Blackout. I still think that is one of the best uh, battle royale versions of the game that anybody has come out with yet. But Warzone 2 just is pretty freaking good. It's got a couple little issues with it, but still a ton of fun. What else have I? What else have I been missing out in the RC world? Uh, it seems like there's always a ton going on. Um, all the different groups. I did see somebody was posting crawlers and coffee at Horseman Center. Which unfortunately, before I moved out of California, I never got to go to one of those. They'd only had a couple of them before we had moved. So I do like Horseman Center. That place is uh, about as good an RC crawling location as you are ever gonna find. It is tailor made for RC crawlers. The other thing I noticed, of course, freaking spam callers. It's always the nice thing that I can't seem to get AT&T to fix, which is the 3 to 4 spam calls that I get every day. Considering that my cell phone is actually a business account, I use it for my business. It's my business phone number. And I still get at least 2 or 3 times a week people calling me about the extended warranty on the car that I don't even have anymore. That I never had an extended warranty on to begin with. I would just I want to give a shout out to Black Wolf RC as well. I have been seeing that. If you haven't checked out his channel, you definitely got to go check it out. He has been doing some pretty cool stop motion videos. And if you have ever tried to do any kind of stop motion anything, you will know that you have to have a level of patience to do that is saintly. It's incredible. It can take you 3 to 4 hours to make like 5 seconds of video stop motion. So days and days and time of moving things, a quarter of a millimeter, taking a picture, quarter of a millimeter, taking a picture. It's absolutely insane. So shout out, because I know it had been a little while since he'd done any, and I have seen on Facebook that he is in the process of making some more. So shout out to him, because that is um, something that I tried one time, and I will never try it ever again. It takes way too long. Yeah. So how is everybody doing? Um, it seems like it's been years since I was on an 11 Charlie stream and got to chat with James and Russell and you guys, and um, unfortunately life for me just took me in a different direction, and I really needed to 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 focus my attention on other things, um, mainly between my regular day job and my side business. My side business, I got um, several projects that happened sort of in the middle of this year that were huge for me and huge for my family. To try and help us out, we spent a ton of money moving here to Tennessee, and we ate into to quite a bit of savings and retirement in making all of this happen. Um, so trying to work to sort of recoup some of that back, and um, yeah, that just means I can't, I can't dedicate the time. Plus, just some other personal reasons why I wanted to step away. Um, for me, the helping the veterans was something very personal, and I just I kind of felt like there were there were too many distractions going on to really be effective. So stepping away for me was the best. I think the best thing to do, and you know, it exactly, Robert, or barbecue. It life happens. Um, you know, the great thing is we're thoroughly enjoying the move. JM, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, we are thoroughly enjoying it here in Tennessee. Um, it's it has been amazing here. Um, like a bit of culture shock, a bit of um, especially a bit of weather shock. Being California boy my whole entire life, I had done a bunch of traveling, so I had been exposed. But it's different when you live someplace and you get up every morning. Um, in the beginning, I had, I've been around cold, I've been in the snow, but when you get up in the morning and it's 20 degrees outside and you're walking around your house, and even though the heater's going full blast, it's still cold as hell. And then trying to figure out how to heat this whole area, which is actually in the garage where there is very little insulation, that was also pretty tricky. What you see hanging back there, those are actually these super thick thermal curtains. And um, if you can see, there's my heater that runs. I keep that hidden behind the seat there, but yeah, that is generally running most of the day out here. I turned it off for the live stream just because it does make a little bit of noise. And yeah, right now it's actually not that cold out, about 52 degrees. Um, still hoping that we're going to get snow for Christmas this year, but it looks like it might miss Christmas by a few days. Typically here in Kingsport, the snow comes around in sort of the middle to late January through the beginning of March. So, but I know my wife especially is really hoping for a white Christmas. So we might get close. I know there's a storm coming through. But yeah, overall, we're loving Tennessee. Um, you know, what, we still love California. That is, even though this is our home now and this is where we live, there's always a special place. Both my wife and I, miss a whole bunch about California. But unfortunately, just the way things are going, um, it's so not cost effective living in California at this point, unless you start moving into the eastern part of California and the northeastern part of California, which for us, if we were going to move, we just kind of decided that, hey, if we're going to move someplace where it's going to be worth, moving. And yeah, here we are. So a year later, we're loving it, having fun. Um, like I was saying earlier, I haven't had much time to get out and do RC stuff, although I have found several places. The last video that I put out with the Phoenix, that is a super cool little spot. It's um, a semi, what do they call that? It's a minor league baseball team's baseball field. And it's literally like 3 miles away from the house. And they have all these cool little like rock piles set up all over the place. That's kind of part of the decorations there. And it's perfect for crawling. And the spot that I went with the Phoenix the last time, it was just simply like the flattest spot that was there. Because I hadn't even, the only time I had the Phoenix out was just out in my front yard and climbed over a couple little spots. So I hadn't even really given it a full like shakedown run. So I didn't want to take it to the other side of the park where they have actually some good slopes and some crawling. And then since I did that video, I haven't even been out with my RCs at all. I did play with my Typhon a bit. Here around the back of the house, but I didn't even take the camera out. It was kind of like an impromptu play session. I was in between doing a few things with work, and I had like an hour to kill. So I decided to charge up a battery and just bash around the back of the house. And but yeah, but I've been trying to keep up with what's going on. Of course, I tune into the Scale News update every week, which I don't know. It seems to be kind of dry right now. I thought that since we had gotten past the whole COVID thing, that maybe things were going to start getting ramped up, and we were going to start seeing some like a bunch of new stuff coming out. But I think everybody is still catching up. That plus the supply chain issues that everybody seems to be suffering from. The other one, the James talked about it. The Traxxas TRX4M. That thing looks amazing. And what Traxxas did with making the announcement for it, setting the release date, and then saying, "Oh, by the way, here's all these upgrades that we're going to do right out of the gate." I thought that was really cool. And I know I talked about it in a stream before about the little 18 scale Capra that kind of feel like it's overpriced for what it is. The TRX4M, I think that Traxxas just absolutely nailed it. It's slightly larger than the 24 scales, visibly larger than, the SCX24, and it is, they call it the 18th scale. But they still release that thing at like $149.99 for $150. And you too, Thompson. Thanks for coming in, my friend. If I don't see you before the holidays, have a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. I'm not sure if I'm going to get back on, do another live stream next week. I'm going to try. Kyosha putting on a Phaser 57 Chevy. Now that would be awesome. I have not seen if Losi dropped a new rig. I will have to look at that. I am a big fan of Losi, and considering that for years and years and years I was an associated, a racer, and it was sort of ingrained that you were an either or back in those days. You were an associated guy or you were a Losi guy. It was one of those where I always hated Losi because I was supposed to, and now what Losi's doing, what Horizon has done with Losi, I think, is absolutely amazing. Some of the rigs that they're the basher rigs that they're making now, RCU next Tuesday, if you haven't gone and looked at what they've done with their Super Baja Ray, as far as bashing that thing, that is arguably one of the toughest cars I have ever seen, because Billy and Jay have literally launched that thing to the moon and it survives, like ridiculously survives. It'll break something silly, but you can literally keep driving the thing. And I still remember the video of them launching it over the light pole and landed, survived. They launched it a couple more times, and they launched it to a point where it got wedged underneath a concrete bench at the skate park, and like literally nothing happened to it. They just dragged it out of there and poof, away it went. Yeah. I think if I were ever going to get a larger scale basher, it would be a toss up probably between one of the Baja Rays or the Rock Ray or an X Max, because how can you not have an X Max? But yeah, because my buddy, he has the laser nut, and then he also got the hammer, the 1/10 hammer ray, the Curry one, and the laser nut. It's a little bit finicky, and he likes the hammer ray way better. He said handling wise, the hammer ray is heads and tails above the laser nuts, like squirrely, and he said it's almost overpowered. And yeah, I had initially directed him. He was looking at the laser nut, and before the hammer ray came out, and I was saying, yeah, if you're going to spend that kind of money on the laser nut, why not look at one of the other like the Tenacity or some of those. And he liked the look of the laser nut, so he ended up getting that. And then he's a big U4 guy, so when they came out with that Hammer Ray U4 vehicle, he just went freaking got it, and then he was like, dude, this thing is unbelievably awesome. Even on, I think it goes 4S, Yeah, yeah. X-Max is you can't beat it. I think Arma has their part of the basher market, but when it comes to the super large scale, the X Max just owns it. They own it. It's um, those things are those things are ridiculous, and with the modifications, upgrades you can do to those things, um, you can make them virtually indestructible, which is, you know, I think Arma with the Creighton 8S, um, and the Creighton, even the Creighton 6S, some of those, they're great rigs, but the X Max just, I think, still the king. It's hard to beat them. Russell, I'm not. I mean, it's one of the big complaints I have about Horizon is their freaking website. With instead of having like just have a LOSI website, not a LOSI website inside of Horizon, um, because it makes everything a pain in the neck to try and find crap. But I need to do my homework on what new has come out, because in the last couple of weeks I have been scattered all over the place when it comes to RC stuff on the internet. Um, because I live just probably 500 feet away. I have the South Fork of the Holston River here, which it actually, where my house is at, it makes kind of a big U shape right in front of me. And I have this sort of area of the river where the flow is kind of, it makes an eddy right here. So I can actually get a boat out there and run around, and if something happens to it, it'll just kind of circle around in the same spot, and it won't go 30 miles downriver. uh Black Wolf, how are you, brother? I was mentioning you earlier about the stop motion stuff that you're working on. Good to see you. But yeah, so I've been kind of looking at some boat stuff too, because um, if I can just walk down to the river and play around with a boat for a little bit, that would be kind of fun. With the exception of I am a I am a little bit concerned, because I realized a couple of weeks ago I was down there doing a little bit of fishing, and we have um, we have some pretty good sized snapping turtles here, and just in my craziness of fishing, RD Enduro, thanks for joining. Good to see you. Um, yeah, just in my craziness, because I know we have catfish and trout and a couple other fish here. I threw some bologna out, and I didn't hook it completely, but I did get in the bottom jaw of a freaking snapping turtle and pulled them up out of the water, and then spent 10 minutes trying to figure out how to get the hook out of his mouth, of which after 10 minutes or so, he finally just freaking spit the thing out and went about his business. But he wasn't happy. Kind of they're kind of angry little turtle, but a little. I mean, he was pretty good size. He's pretty, a good foot long, and um, when they're snapping, he got some force behind there. So fishing is it's fun. It's a great way to relax for a while. But if I got to worry about getting one of my fingers bit off by a freaking turtle, absolutely barbecue. And I know Florida's got some. They've got some nasty. They've got like those alligator snapping turtles down there that You know, they have like the hook beak on the thing, which is, um, yeah, absolutely, Russell. This one was big enough. He could have taken my finger, and luckily I just had a hold of his shell behind his head, and I was just trying to pry the hook out, but he kept snapping down on the thing when I would get the hook close, and it would just push it back down into his bottom jaw. Um, and then finally, like I said, finally he just spit the thing out, and I set him back down, and away he went. I have thought about putting the camera on my hat and making some fishing videos, but um, it seems like all the times that I've watched fishing videos, it seems like it takes a long time of fishing to get any actual usable footage. Plus, um, you have to catch something. And so far, in like the 5 or 6 times I've been down to the river fishing, the turtle so far is the only thing that I've caught. I have seen trout. I have seen catfish that swim right by where I'm sitting, but I haven't actually been able to catch any of them. So, which in the grand scheme of things is pretty sad. My father um, was a pretty he was a pretty established bass fisherman for a long time, and um, he did bass fishing tournaments for decades and was reasonably successful. So I should probably be a better fisherman than I actually am. Sorry, Pop. um, but I mean, for me, it's really just about relaxing um, and being so close to the river here was, being able to head down there and just, hang out for an hour or two. It's just nice to get away, especially when work gets stupid. Yeah, bass are much. They seem to be much less deterred from biting things than trout. Bass will eat virtually everything as long as it's moving and it makes some kind of uh, movement, shiny movement in the water. A bass they'll go after damn near everything. Trout, I've never had much luck with. But I do know there's another spot where I've RC'd several times where this leg of the river comes together with another leg, and there's this really cool jetty that goes where the two meet. And I've been out there crawling a couple of times, and there's always guys fishing out there. And I've seen guys catching trout like crazy out there. NorCal, brother, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I've been, I've been, I've been, I've been seeing all your reels come through. That that's probably YouTube Shorts and Reels has been. I've probably been watching more over the last month or so than anything else. Primarily because it's on my phone and I'm bouncing around so much. Um, it's it's been difficult for me to get much time on my computer where I haven't been like having to try and focus on work. I even like halfway tried to hang a Christmas like lighted decoration thing up there that I got halfway done with, and eh, other things to do more important. Plus that thing has all that flocking on it, and when I started putting up there, the white crap is now everywhere in that, which now I regret hanging that stupid thing up there because at some point now I'm going to have to take it down and it's going to make an even bigger mess over there. Yeah. The worst thing that I've had that focus wise is the 24, because I have the little crawler course over there. I can literally get up and play with this thing whenever I want. I actually have my charger and 2 batteries just sitting right here on my desk all the time. Um, and I generally have a battery charged all the time, because it's at least 2 or 3 times a week. I will get frustrated and I will grab this thing and I will walk over to that crawler course. And there's been times where like, oh, I'm just gonna come over here for like, take a break for 10, 15 minutes. 2 hours later, I walk back in here and like, oh my God, I've been over there for 2 hours playing with this thing. Um, ha- these things are a ball. It's they're too easy. They're small. They're too easy to just boop, okay, go play and come back and sit down. Yeah, and I still haven't even finished my micro crawling course, which is pretty it's pretty sad. Um, I do little bits and pieces like my scale garage. I do like little bits and pieces every once in a while, but the progress has been so ridiculously slow. Um, at some point, I just gonna have to, especially the scale garage, because that was something that I wanted to have done before the end of the year, and I'm not even remotely close. Not even close. The crawler course, I'm pretty close to being finished with it. At least finished for now. I think that's going to be one of those. There's always going to be something that I'm going to want to do there. Yeah, NorCal. I can't. They're so easy to take around with you, and they're so cheap. You know, you I think I spent $129 on the getting the deadbolt, and then I probably spent another 70 or $80 putting some upgrades on it, some metal links, and getting a better servo for it, and wheels and tires, and then I just had a ball with it. You know, so I would say probably one of the best ways uh, to get new people into the RCs that have never been into RCs would be, send them to a freaking hobby store and say, pick up one of these things. Pick up one of these things and have fun with it. Have fun with it for a couple of months. Don't spend a dime on it. Just have fun with it for a couple of months. And after a couple of months, throw 50 or $60 at the thing, and it'd be like having a whole new rig. NorCal. That is working on them sucks. Working on them, it sucks. Well, it sucks and it doesn't suck. There are certain things that um, are easier to work on than others. The transmission area, and this whole little area right here is kind of a pain. But most of the small screws and whatnot, like in the axles and whatnot, they've made them easily accessible enough that if you get you one of the little, this is in Jora, I think it was like $24, and it has this, it's not a ball end, it's just regular, and it works out nice because you can just slip the screw on there and then feed it into the hole and then tighten it up, and it makes it not so bad. But yeah, if you're used to working on large scale bashers and 10 scale crawlers and all that, and you get one of these things, um, it the first upgrade that I did was the servo, and you have to take the entire front axle assembly out in order to get servo in there. And when I did that, when I was done, I had said, I'm not going to do any more upgrades to this thing that require me to take that far apart. But once you get used to it, also, I got new glasses, so that also helped quite a bit. Riff Raff, brother, good to see you, man. Good to see you. How you doing? It has been a bit. But yeah, I think once you kind of get used to the smaller ones, it's not too bad. And just like anything, if you got a decent tool that you're comfortable with, it makes it a little bit easier. Yeah, Riff Raff's good to see you. I don't remember the last time I was able to pop into one of RC Guy Garage's uh, live streams. I sometimes I can catch him when he's on like really early in the morning. I can pop in there for a little bit, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done much of anything. It's just small. Hear you there, Norco. uh, but yeah, I'm super stoked that everybody's able to come in and say hi, and we're able to hang out. I'm gonna go say for another probably 10 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna cut this one out. I'm definitely gonna try next week to do another live, probably around the same time. It seems like the 3 o'clock I kind of catch everybody East Coast and West Coast, where West Coast guys, I'm kind of catching you at lunch. East Coast guys, it's close enough to the end of the day that you might be able to uh, check it out for a little bit. And let's see. Hold that thought 1 second. Let me take a look at something here. Of course, it never fails. What is that? 18949. Boop, boop, boop. So this is what I end up doing. 108949. I can't even see that folder. Sorry about this, guys. This is typically my my day job over here. I work for Rima Manufacturing, fine purveyor of air conditioning units, gas furnaces. We also have an automotive division, which I most just recently learned about. Um, and I am part of the R&D engineering department. Uh, and currently, we are working on a whole bunch of new products because of a regulation change that is coming with the coolant that we use for air conditioners, which the fine people in the United States government have decided needed to be changed because it's not green enough, which is always nice. For me, it is um, it keeps me in work, being able to having to make changes to things. Plus, not to mention, Rheem is one of the largest manufacturers of air conditioning units in the world. We own a ton of different brands. And recently, in the last 3 years, Rheem has brought together all of the engineering departments from all of the different companies that they own and sort of combined us all together so that we're all working towards the same thing, because it got kind of crazy several years ago where there was a whole bunch of things being done at one company that weren't done at another company, and they sort of clashed with one another, and always fun when the bosses start putting their heads together and they start seeing things not being done the same way. It tends to make their heads explode, and therefore they decided to make this big giant change, which earlier this year in February was what prompted them to bring me into the R&D department and bring me onto the company as a fully remote worker, partly because I have a lot of experience with thermal transfer and heat transfer um, in my previous work experience. I don't know why. It's never good when somebody asks you a question about something and you don't have an actual answer for it, which is, it's always nice. I'm not sure why there is no PDF there. I cannot see the ECN/PDF folder for 108949 either. I do believe that the PDF should be there. Boom. All right, I'm back. So yeah, a little a little work break there. Hey, Basher Boy, good to see you. Thank you, NorCal. I it was it. I originally interviewed with Rheem in December of last year. They actually hired somebody else for my position in January. They went through the final interview process and hiring process of that person, of which they decided at that time he wasn't going to be a great fit. And they contacted me to ask if I was still interested. And for me, whoa, hey, that's a crazy one. Huh. Yeah, they are getting really good at spams right now. Really good. So yeah, I kind of went through this couple month process where at the same time that they were contacting me about offering me the job, I had already actually accepted another job with another company, and I had to call that company like 2 days before I was actually supposed to start to tell them that sorry, I can't start at your company. I'm going to take this job over here because this was actually the job I wanted to begin with. Much more aligned with what my experience is and what I've done. Oh God, for the last 20 years or so, which was the engineering, um, um, chemical processing equipment, heat transfer type stuff like that, and obviously air conditioning and heating was right up my alley. So yeah, it was a good problem to have at the time, but there were a couple of months there where it wasn't a problem I had. It was just something that popped up sort of at the last minute, because I was originally supposed to stay working for my the company I was working for in California. And shortly before we made the offer on our house and we're sort of finalizing the deal of moving to Tennessee, they let me know that they didn't want to have me working remotely, that wasn't going to work out for them best. So I essentially moved all the way across the country without having a job to come to. But it's everything worked out in the end, and overall, I really love the company. They treat us really well. We are privately owned, so it's not a publicly traded company or anything like that. It's just through the years, the Ream Corporation has been buying up other corporations and other companies to bring their products under their umbrella, and ton of people. I think we're at the Fort Smith plant, which is kind of my home base where my team works out of. I think they've got like 30,000 employees that work at that particular plant alone. 700 and some thousand square feet of manufacturing, which is really cool. And I know right now, as a matter of fact, today they had local elementary school there in Fort Smith, or one of the local elementary school. They got their kids there just walking around the plant, singing Christmas carols. They had a great big potluck like dessert thing that's gonna go on tomorrow. They have really cool like gift exchange things and everything for all the people that work at the plant. Yes, Riff, that is one of the things I have been able to keep from happening too much with my rigs, with my heat transfer experience, is not having overheating problems. Although I did have an overheating problem with the Phoenix because unfortunately I didn't think about it. I was running around with it the last time I was filming with it. I was running around with it with the 33% overdrive in the front on the whole time. So I like drive around in the parking lot doing donuts and the thing. And I didn't realize it. And I walked over to it and I could smell the hot electronic smell. And I had that sort of panic moment, like, oop. And then I looked down at the controller and I realized that I had the switch flipped all the way to the back. I'm like, oi, driving around with the crazy crawling overdrive on the entire time. It's not there. I did put the folder back. The one PDF folder for you. Okay. I will make a PDF and get it in there. But yeah, little radiators they make for cooling computers. They're cool. Absolutely. NorCal, those things are so awesome. The mini radiators and liquid cool things that they have for computers are so awesome. And I think it's probably just a matter of time before somebody who yeah, exactly. I think it's only a matter of time before somebody figures out how to make one of those work in an RC car and have a liquid cooled freaking RC car, which would be sick. I have been watching Now I can't, of course, I can't remember his name. He has been over the last few months. He has built several of those Tovan V scale V8 engines that run, and he is currently building like a 1/8 scale Camaro with the scale Tovan LS engine in it. And I just saw that he's got a freaking supercharger that he's got now from Tovan that he's going to put on that thing. Highway frame builds building liquid cooled slash. Yeah. Yeah. See, it's just with the way everything's going in RC right now, it's only a matter of time before people start integrating all the cool stuff that's coming out for, computer technology. Yeah, he calls himself Double D RC or something like that, and I know that it's his name. RC is his YouTube channel, and I want to say his name is Dennis. But yeah, man, he's been sort of documenting his whole process of going through and building the car and then getting all the transmission and the driveline and everything set so that he could actually put that V8 in there and getting it set underneath the hood so that it sits right. And I ultimately I think it's going to be, it's going to look probably a lot cooler than it functions, but yeah, it's always cool to see people doing uh, cool, super cool projects like that. I unfortunately right now, I don't, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to invest in trying to figure that. I've had this freaking Toyota LC70 scale build going for, God. It's been a while, and I'm still not finished. I got it all the way up to the point where I got the body done and everything, and I just need to put the electronics in it, and it's been sitting there ever since. Just nah. Um, yeah, it's time. Time is that that precious thing that we never have enough of. But guys, I am gonna wrap this up. I originally said I was only gonna go for a half an hour, and again, I've gone for an hour. They've done every live stream that I've done. That's what I've said I was going to do. I go 30, 45 minutes, and then it's an hour. But I am going to wrap it up. Got to jump over onto the work computer and try to make one of my people in Fort Smith happy because I forgot to do something. Oops. Um, but yeah, try to knock that out before the end of the day so that um, she'll jump in tomorrow morning and not have bad things to say about me. Yeah. Hey, it's good to see everybody. NorCal, JM, Riff Raff, Arctic, Robert brother, Russell brother, um, James. It was definitely good to see you in here. RD Enduro, Gabriel Basher Boy. Again, always good to see you as well. I think I got everybody, but if not, again, thank you for joining. I'm going to keep trying to do these live streams. Yes, Robert, happy holidays. I'm going to keep trying to do weekly live streams. There may be a couple weeks here and there where I miss out. Um, just with depends on how things are going. But I'm definitely for 2023, I'm definitely planning on setting up a regularly scheduled weekly live show. I've got a couple people I'm talking to that I'm going to try and bring them in as well to hang out and have, just, an hour long RC hangout show where even beyond RC, where we just hang out and shoot the shit, talk about whatever we want. Um, but yeah, everybody have a good one. Hope to see you next week. But if I don't see you next week, Have a great holiday. And yeah, we'll see you the next time. Thank you all very much, guys. Really appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hi.